The U.S.S. Theodore Roosevelt, 90,000 tons of steel, with a jet runway on top. And the chance to share the stories of its brave sailors is an adventure for me as a reporter from the very start. This journey from Naval Station Norfolk requires safety vests, helmets, and goggles for the no-frills flight to the massive ship at sea. Sailors call the Roosevelt the Big Stick, as it towers 20 stories above the water and stretches 3.5 football fields. Inside the carrier feels like a series of unending mazes, bridges, and tunnels, and sometimes there can be as many as 5,000 people on board. And they make up this vessel's most impressive asset, from those who guide the rapid takeoffs and landings on the flight deck, to those who repair pipes in the machine shop.
It's coming off of the copper melting.
And those who safely transport explosives on and off the carrier. This is precision under pressure.
I do the job I do in the Navy, not so much because of the job, because working with explosives is not the first thing I thought about when I thought about joining, but I do it for the people. Because with my rate, because we deal with explosives and there's a chance that if something goes wrong, it can inherently kill the entire department, we're very tight-knit. And so my job itself is a tight-knit job. My community is a tight-knit community.
With more than 17 years in the Navy, Charles Hart works to make that community even tighter and saves lives.
For a Christian that knows that's in his word to go to any type of church.
The explosives expert leads an evening Bible study 5 nights a week.
When I came in the military, I was a young believer. So I came in 18, 19 years and I was a Christian. I was a licensed minister. And so I see the importance of making sure you connect at an early age with other believers.
That connection is critical, especially now. On our visit aboard the Roosevelt, sailors are finishing up final training for a 9-month deployment.
Emotionally, you go through a gamut of emotions. You can be lonely at times. Sometimes you can get depressed. Sometimes you can get a little under the weather. And so you have to constantly remind yourself that this is only for a period of time. And at the end of the day, my family's at home and they're waiting for me and they're excited about seeing me, just like I'm excited about seeing them. And once this is done, I can go home and spend time with them.
And a sailor's sacrifice can be seen in the simplest of ways. These are sleeping quarters, rather tight for 6 people.
It gets tough sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, it really does. Obviously you're gonna miss your family. You grew up with them. You know, I lived with my family for 19 years, and now all of a sudden, just like that, I'm away from them. Luckily, I do have people around the ship that I can call my sea family, you know, and they get me through the days.
This is a milestone mission for Stephen Green, his first deployment as a Christian.
Pretty much, yes, my faith did begin on the ship.
Less than a year ago, the 22-year-old attended a worship service in the ship's forecastle, the same area where he works to lift and drop anchor. At that meeting, another sailor invited Stephen to attend his church back at home.
First day there, honestly, I didn't get much of anything. Something was drawing me to that church though, so I came back the second time, and that's when the pastor, we were right in the middle of worship service, and she stopped, and she looked directly at me, and that's when she spoke into my life and gave me what God was telling me, and it was just crazy for me, because it was a couple weeks ago that I was praying to God about what was going on in my life and what I was asking him for, and it was like she was listening on me and God's conversation.
The sailor's prayers were answered. He accepted Christ, stopped drinking, and found freedom in the Christian faith he first discovered aboard the ship.
It was really bad. It was where I was to the point where I was drinking every night. Every night. I was pretty much trying to fill that void in my life of thinking that it'd make me, happier, and take all my depression away, all my stress away. And, I mean, obviously it did not. I needed God. I'm actually 8 months sober now. And it was, for a lot of friends that I used to have, it was, they didn't really get it. They didn't really understand it.
Green beat the odds, which show alcohol abuse is a significant problem for young people in the military. He now prays when the Big Stick sets sail, those old drinking buddies will someday join him.
Everybody in here, please pray for him.
At a ship Bible study, a ship church service, or they'll simply pause to truly hear one of the ship's nightly prayers.
Life as a Christian at sea can be very similar to life as a Christian in port, depending on how you connect yourself with other believers.
And the connection provides added protection. Ephraim Graham, CBN News, aboard the U.S.S. Theodore Roosevelt.